Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to share some pages from a scrapbook album on my website. It's Everyday Life Scrapbook 33. We lived in Vancouver for a while, and when we were there was this museum with tons of outbuildings in downtown Burnaby. So it's a suburb of Vancouver, and we quite enjoyed it. There was, well, you'll see in these pages, and the first one here is a school. So this is an old one-room schoolhouse. So I'm sure you have places like this in your own town or museums that you visit. So I thought I'd share some of these. So first of all, this is because it was a school room and with a big map on the wall. I chose the earthy colors of the photo, and I found paper that had a big map as a background. So I thought that was perfect. I just did a school notebook paper border along this side, and I had this sticker of a globe. So I thought that was appropriate for there. I lined up all my photos in a mat, a single mat to shadow them. And then I had this border that I had bought in my stash, and this for school pages. So I used those up here, and they were perfect. And this image of an old-fashioned wooden school desk, just like the ones in the photo, was in Design Space. So that's the first page. It might be good for a heritage page as well. Well, this one's missing the photos. Okay, so there was an old train, and so we got on it and boarded it. It was really great to see. It actually was a streetcar, but it was so high up, and it was like a train. So I used, these are Kiwi Lane scallops. So I shadowed them by cutting them out twice in each size. And then I found railroad track images in Design Space, so I placed them all over. And I used this border punch to mat all the photos on this page. Love this. I lifted these up so they really stick out. So that was another page. This one's missing the photos too. Okay, there was a giant old-fashioned merry-go-round. So we took a panoramic photo of it. And that was here. And that's why this horse is on this page. It was a very old-fashioned, so I loved this paper. And I just thought it was perfect, and I wouldn't have to do anything to it. So I just used the punch around the page to mat the panorama photo and used it as a border on each side of another photo of it. And oh, there was another building was an old automobile type store. And they had old bicycles and repairs and pieces like that. So there was a vintage car in there too, so that I had this old paper. I think it's Tim Holtz paper with all old license plates all over it, so I thought that was perfect because I did have a photo of a license plate. And then there was a gas pump, so I found an image of a gas pump and an antique car, because there's a picture of an antique car. There's an old bike too. Anyway, I just did one big border up there and a wide one here to frame these two photos. I cut these into I cut them apart so that they would balance. Oh, this is in Toronto. Oh no, this is the wrong page. It doesn't belong there. Here's a bank. It's an old branch office of the Royal Bank of Canada. They're still in business. this is I just put the title on top of the photos. This was fun. It was a very interesting place. I hope if you have local museums like that, I strongly suggest you go. And this is an old adding machine. Very interesting. And anyway, I found an image of money, so that was good. And this is all notes and paper. I have rustic pads of paper that I chose, and because this was so orange, I found and green is the color of money. I did the money in green, and I used this border. I used a border punch along here, and to mat these as well. A great place to visit. Okay, this was the newspaper office. And my husband and I both worked for a newspaper, and that's where we met. So anyway, we quite enjoyed this because we knew a lot of the equipment and what it would be. So I found an image of a newspaper, and I put my husband's photo on the front page. This was all newsprint paper that I found in my stash, so that was wonderful. And that's all just the presses. So this is like typewriter keys, so I thought it was all perfect. And I put the -30- because in journalism, at the end of a story, the writer or the journalist would always put -30-, and that tells the editor that's the end of the story, don't expect more. Then here is, oh, I guess this goes this way. This was a general store. That was lots of fun. There was everything in there. Old cameras. So I found an image of a camera. And there's an image of a general store. So I used Kiwi Lane borders on this page and some rustic papers and the colors that I pulled from these photos. And then I used this would be the Cascade Waves from Kiwi Lane, that border behind. And I just cut some of the photos in circles and placed them around. It was a lot of fun doing this. Anyway, I hope you got some ideas for some museum pages. Thank you for watching, and happy scrapbooking.